CBS presents this program in color.
Hold it.
Hold it. I think you're going to like this picture.
Maybe.
Ready? Go.
Howard Burke and the band.
Here's Mike Murphy. Is the show with the most on the score. Well, he's never been in a press box. I talk with the jocks through the locker.
Howard Burke, now professor of music at the Israeli Institute of Music. Look at what started him. Here's Mike Murphy. How you doing? Almost finished him. How you doing, everybody? Murph with you from now. All right, Howard, get back to teaching. Murph with you from now until 2 o'clock. Busy, busy day. You know, if it's Friday, that means we're about 1 hour away from Tool of the Week. My friends over at RentalMax.com want to find out who you nominate to be Tool of the Week. That's in 1 hour. Let's see. We are jammed. We're going to get to some baseball. But let's see. 12:30, Eldon Ham, the well-known Chicago legal expert, specializing in the world of sports, good friend of the Score. Eldon Ham will join me at 12:30, give his insights on, Derrick Rose. Hey, Derrick Rose. What did he do? What's going to happen? Does anybody care? Is anyone going to go to the Slammer? IRS? We'll get some thoughts on that whole story. And after Tool of the Week, around 1:30, hey, great job. Jay Zawoski called up, and Bob Verdi said, heck yes, I'll phone in. Sunday featured columnist in the Tribune, long-time Chicago sports guy. Everyone loves Verds. Athlete's feats. Bob Verdi around 1:30. I'm looking forward to his thoughts on the Blackhawks as well as the rest of the world of sports. And between now and 2 o'clock, I have a pair of White Sox tickets, hopefully with your name on them, for, hey, a Sunday game. Beautiful Sunday, June 7. I'll have a pair of tickets. When you hear Hawks say that, the very next time you hear that, not right now, very next time you hear that phone, be the first caller. Contest phone line. Jay Zawoski, should I give the number, or should we reward the fans that know the number already, or do we want to open up the tent for everyone to come right on in? You know, I'm always, I never know which way to go with this.
Let's give it once right now,
all right.
and then more.
Okay. You're very benevolent today. You're very outgoing. You're very loving.
It's Friday. I'm ready for the weekend.
Oh, it's a fun, feckless Friday.
That's right.
Thank you very much. 591-6700, the contest line. Next time you hear Hawkaroo. Do we have to give the area code, or are there people that don't know it's 312? All right. Let's do this. I'm not soliciting necessarily phone calls, but any time from now till 2, especially at 1 o'clock, Tool of the Week, our famous studio phone number remains 312-644-6767. Gee, it always amazes me the phone lines are ringing right now. We didn't even set a topic. That means either I said something really stupid or people think that's the way to win the tickets. Right?
Yeah, it's one of those two.
Right.
Exactly.
We haven't played Hawk again, and it's the wrong phone number, right?
Correct. On all fronts.
Hello, it's Murph. You're on the air. Who am I speaking with?
You got the Matt Trucker, Murph.
Oh, Matt Trucker! Are you looking for tickets?
No, I'm calling because I'm sick of the Cubs. I'm just totally sick, Murph.
Well, wait a minute. Hey, I think I heard a guy on the air doing a station promo. Oh, that was me. And he said, it's a baseball season, not a baseball 2 months.
Oh, it's terrible, Murph. You know what?
Yeah, no.
Jim Henry,
Yep.
I totally respect the man he's done in the past.
But
He's toward his team in the wrong direction. We got to break out the Band-Aids, the crying towels. It's going to be a long year, Murph.
Well, you know what else? And Trucker, we got 4 more months of 6. But what is not boding well is that the sale of the Cubs it looks like it's breaking down, which means even if Mr. Hendry had a ace up his sleeve, be it Jake Peavy or whatever ace, that might be washed out also. Trucker, good to talk to you, buddy.
I love you, Murph.
All right, Trucker, the only caller with his own theme song. Oh, wait, Shaft used to call. Where's Shaft? Gee, Shaft never calls us anymore.
I haven't heard from Shaft in a long time.
If he does, you still got his song, right?
I love that song. I'm ready to use it any time.
There's another. Is this guy also looking for tickets here? Hey, it's Murph. You're on the air. What's your name, please? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, it's Murph. Who am I speaking with?
This is Chris from What's Up Local Magazine.
Oh, hang on, Chris. Is that .com? Have sales department send an invoice out. It's not easy being a phone. I'm giving this job back to Chris Collins. Sorry, Chris. That'll teach me to step on your detail there. Maybe the last detail. All right, let's do this. It's Murph. Now, I want to talk a little baseball. If you wish to react or interact, you're welcome to, or just eavesdrop. Now, how many times have you heard this in the last 24 hours? Be it on the radio, on the television, cable, as my mom says, the cable, on the cable, hi, Mom, the TV, the radio, the newspapers. Carlos Zambrano is going to miss a start. Carlos Zambrano, 6-game suspension. He's going to miss a start. By the way, Murph driven to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com. Now, he's not going to miss a start. And everyone has said this. Everyone has said this, so, it's not like we're singling out this guy, that guy, this gal, that gal. Everyone has said that Carlos Zambrano, I read it again today, will miss a start. He's not going to miss a start. One of the most highly regarded, in my mind, baseball men out there from the New York Daily News, I want to say. One of the big New York papers, John Heyman, was on Mully and Hanley this morning.
I think they got away pretty good. One start's not too bad for throwing the ball in the outfield, beating up the cooler. He giving the umpire the heave-ho. I mean, he could have gotten one start for each of those incidents.
All right, now there's a guy that knows the game big time. And he fell into the trap. Carlos Zambrano will miss a start. No, he won't. Now, let's do this. Open up our text messaging system. I'd like to ask, real quick, 67011, powered by U.S. Cellular. Was Carlos Zambrano, this is going to be multiple choice, was Carlos Zambrano's suspension too short, too long, or just right? Now, I'd like the letter S, as in short, Sam. Was Zambrano's suspension letter S, as in short, too short? Letter L, as in long, too long? The porridge was too hot, too cold. The porridge was just right. Or was it just about right, letter J? So, real quick, please, 67011, text me S as in short, L as in long, or J as in just about right.
You're absolutely correct.
Thank you, Ron, please. Now, John Heyman, I understand, John, that it's been reported that Zambrano's going to miss a start.
I think they got away pretty good. One start's not too bad for throwing the ball in the outfield, beating up the cooler. He giving the umpire the heave-ho. I mean, he could have gotten one start for each of those incidents.
Now, here's the thing. This morning, that was Mully and Hanley. Great job. Now, here's the thing. Zambrano will not miss a start. For instance, had Ted Lilly, now let's pretend, remember when Ted Lilly jumped over the dugout fence and got thrown out of the game? He was not a pitcher that day. He was not in the game. Let's say that he had made contact or threw the ball to the wall or threw the glove or beat up the Gatorade, whatever. Now, Lilly was not the pitcher that day. See, this is very important that you understand that Zambrano and the Cubs are getting off scot-free on this deal. Well, Lou said we can always use Carlos, to pinch hit. Fine. That's not why you're paying him $18 million. Now, if you're going to pitch the next day, let's say Lilly's pitching the next day and he gets a 6-game suspension today, then he does pretty much miss a start because he was going to pitch tomorrow. By the way, Vuk is on your side, Jeff Vukovich. Murph's Nationwide Insurance Agent of the Year. Hello, Vuk! For all your insurance needs, Park Ridge Solid Family Guy, Jeff Vukovich. All right, say Lilly's pitching tomorrow, and he gets a 6-game suspension today. Who pitches for the Cubs tomorrow? They got to bring up a guy from the minors. So if you look at what's going to happen with the Cubs, they have an off day Monday coming up, and this is the key. Due to the fact, this is why they did not appeal. Why didn't the Cubs appeal? Because it was laid out perfectly for them by MLB. Yesterday, Randy Wells. Wednesday, Zambrano. Thursday, Wells on 4 days regular. Today, Lilly on 4 days regular rest. Saturday, Dempster 4 days regular rest. Sunday, Marshall 4 days regular rest. Monday, the off day would have been Zambrano or call someone up from the minors. Off day. Tuesday, Wells on regular 4. Wednesday, Lilly on regular 4. Thursday, the 6 games are up. Zambrano comes back stronger than ever with 7 days rest. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Dempster, Marshall, Wells next week, 5 days rest. He never misses a start. It couldn't have worked out better. Results are in. Text results are very interesting. Was the suspension too short? 61%. Yes, too short. Was it too long? 22% it was too long. 17% it was just right. Now, this may surprise you, but I will say that the correct answer here is the 61%. Too short. Now, yesterday, I did talk about it. I talked about how Zambrano did not make initial contact, yada, yada. Cow jumped over the moon. But the point is, if you're MLB, well, wait a minute. We talked about this yesterday with Jim Callis on the Murph Show from BaseballAmerica.com.
They'll suspend him for 6 or 7 games.
But
he'll appeal, and they'll reduce it by like 1 game, but it'll still be. They'll make it long enough so they can reduce it by a game or 2, but he'll still miss a start.
But a 5-game suspension really means you only push him back 1. You only miss a start if it's 9 games or more. You see what I mean?
I see what you're saying. You could just push everybody back a day. Yeah,
you maneuver it. Right. Unless the starting pitcher is hit for 9 days, he does not technically miss 1 start. Thank you. Every once in a while, I find that little acorn with my mask. Now, I had not factored in the off day, which makes it even sweeter for the Cubs. But if the league really wanted to make Zambrano miss a game, miss a start, as everybody has said, incorrectly, but that's fine, it should have been a 9-game suspension. Then they would have had to bring up someone from the minors, and he would have indeed, or, I don't know what, start Patton out of the bullpen, whatever the hell you want to do as Kano. That's the only way you miss a start. What's it? Carphone Jeff wants to jump in. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Murph, how you doing?
Well, good, Jeff. I got to say something. You've got a great topic because we weren't looking for calls, and my guy Chris Collins, I said, Chris, it's got to be really good to get on the air, and it's on the air, so you passed through the gatekeeper. I can't wait to hear what you have. Go ahead, Jeff.
This has been bothering me for a really long time now. I just don't understand why baseball feels the need to suspend guys for arguing with umps, for touching them. I can understand you can't make contact with them, but, I know you remember the Mark Lemon-Jello meltdown, which was the all-time classic for me. And I know you remember DeRocher. He used to kick umps, and they'd kick him back.
Who was that?
And, Leo.
Oh, I thought you said Mark. I thought you had DeRosa. I go, okay.
No.
DeRocher. Okay, go ahead. I'm with you.
I know you remember DeRocher's arguments with the umps.
Of course.
The day Mark Lemon-Jello.
All right, let's bring it to the future. I agree with you. You're right. And you got a great topic here. Why have things changed? I'll throw it back to you, Jeff. Let's try to walk through this and figure it out. Why is it now different? You go ahead. Tell me.
I, for the life of me, can't figure it out. I mean,
all right, well, let me help you. Number 1, the umpires union. Number 2, politically correct society that we are in now, and we better embrace it because it ain't going away. MLB has obviously decided that they don't want, and it's their prerogative, it's their ball, it's their bet. I'm not saying I agree with them. Jeff, MLB has decided we don't want people doing this. We don't think it looks good, and many would probably agree with MLB. I sort of agree with you, a little spice in the game, not making contact. I'm with you all the way. But
I'm not going to endorse the
no.
When Pete Rose knocked the guy down.
No. Of course not so. But the point is, I think you see where I'm going with this. It's a different world now. That's the short answer, plus the umpire union.
But the umpires union is gone as we knew it.
But it must be back stronger because they've all got. See, you have another. Boy, Jeff, I tell you, you're on a roll here, buddy. You're exactly right. The umpires now again are on the muscle. They again have the hard ass red boo boop attitude, if you know what I mean. And these guys right now, they think they control the world, and they're getting away with it. The umpire Carlson made contact with Zambrano, and I guarantee you he will not be suspended.
Right. And
Right.
even if it is, it's not going to be released.
Well, whatever.
These guys
Right.
now work for the league.
Well, yeah, they're all in cahoots. Jeff.
Yeah.
Go ahead, buddy.
I'm just saying, to me, as a baseball fan, it's sickening.
But again, there's a lot. I'm with you. But there's a lot of fans that go, you know what? I don't like my kids seeing that. I don't like that. It's a different world, and there's going to be changes, Jeff. And but that doesn't mean I don't like your angle.
Congratulations. You've just been named the Browns Chicken Caller of the Show.
Hang on, Jeff. We'll send you over to visit my friends at brownschicken.com. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about umpires and what is not adding up. Someone's lying to somebody here. Tool of the Week at 1. It's the score. It's Murph back in a flash, driven to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com. When you hear Hawk Harrelson, call the contest line between now and 2. Eldon Ham talking Derrick Rose. Bob Verdi a little bit later talking sports and Hard Hawk hockey.
I think the ruling was fair, yes. I really do. I think Carlos does also. He just took it too far. I think he realizes that.
If the league was serious, it should have been 9 games to ensure that he missed a start and the Cubs would have been forced to replace him with either a minor league call-up or someone out of the bullpen, or, you could always say, okay, Patton's going to go the first 3 innings, Escano's going to go a couple innings, but the league should have either had, 1 game or 9 games. This was crazy. So everyone that said it was too short, you're correct. On our text question of the day, was it too short, too long, or just about right, the length of the suspension? 74%, you all win. What do they win, Jay? Chance for you to come over to their house and eat for free. How's that? That's what they can win.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hey, Bob Verdi at 1:30. Hawks Talk. Eldon Ham at 12:30. Famous Chicago lawyer involved in the world of sports, friend of the score. We'll talk a little bit about his thoughts on angles on Derrick Rose. Tool of the Week at the top of the hour. All right. And Sox tickets between now and 2. The next time you hear Hawk Harrelson say, "Dadgummit." That was me, not him. Phone the contest line. Be the first one to call. And, all right, real quick, umpiring. Now, again, this morning on Mully and Hanley, the well-respected, check it out, Daily News, right? Does anyone know in there? John Heyman, New York Daily. I think he's also New York Daily News. But Sports Illustrated sounds even better, right? Sports Illustrated, longtime New York newspaper guy John Heyman with Mully and Hanley. Now, if you recall, after the Ted Lilly game, the one where he wasn't pitching, but the Ted Lilly game, where he jumped over the dugout fence, railing, whatever, and, got the heave-ho from home plate umpire Bob Davidson because he said that Davidson says, concentrate more, or he probably said, you suck. Remember the next day, umpire Davidson said, hey, this is interesting. I was just graded out. I got my grade today from MLB. I had a 96 out of 100. Roughly 200 pitches. I only missed 8. I guess that's good. In their eyes, he missed 4 out of every 100. I guess that's pretty good. But I said to myself, I said, I wonder who's doing the grading here. And are they using those, electronic devices? How do you know MLB didn't really get a 70? And he said, tell them it's a 96 so we look better in the paper. Here's what baseball expert with Mully and Hanley, John Heyman, said today. Listen closely, please.
They are graded, but for some reason, some of the guys with the lowest grade seem to have come back. Bob Davidson was not considered a great umpire, and he was out for a while in that strike, and here he is back somehow. I don't know. We've got pictures of what's going on there, but I don't think Hallion had great grades. They are graded, but I don't know if anybody does anything with the grades.
Well, that's the interesting thing, John, because Davidson trotted that out the next day saying, by the way, I was graded 96 out of 100 for my ball strike calls on that night. The Lily came out and barked at me and told me to focus in. I was pretty focused in according to the grade.
Well, we should look at all his grades. Let's turn over all the cards then. If he's going to talk about his grade on one game, one ball strike, let's turn them all over and look at the history of his grades. And I really don't think they're great, from what I recall.
All right, now there's the expert there from SI, New York newspaper expert. And he says, from New York, he says right there, I never thought Bob Davidson was any good. And the grading, do you trust for a minute any league? and be it MLB, NBA, you name your league, that they're going to always tell you exactly what the hell the truth is with these numbers with an umpire? How do you know he didn't get a 40? Missed 60 out of every 100. You don't know. Oh, he got a 96. We went back, Jay Zawoski, to the game itself 2 days ago, Channel 9 WGN TV. Here's Bob Brenly, and he's going to talk about the ejection of Lilly, and he's going to give you his thoughts. Now, you listen to Bob Brenly and tell me if you think that a 96 out of 100 pitches, missed 8 out of 200 is what Bob Brenly saw, that the umpire, Davidson, is claiming the league told him he scored a 96. See if Brenly, doing the eye test, watching himself during the game, feels the same way.
Ted Lilly got into it. Larry Rothschild as well. And, Bob, I wonder if Ted and Larry have been tossed from the bench.
Yeah, I know for a fact that starting pitchers on days they don't pitch, a lot of times they like to watch the game in the video room. Certainly, if you've been watching this game up in the video room, you've seen the number of pitches that Bob Davidson has missed in this game. And perhaps Ted Lilly and or Larry Rothschild just thought it was time to point it out to Bob Davidson what a horrible job he's doing tonight.
There you go, Bob Brenly. What a horrible job he's doing. Pitches he's missed all night. And they tell you from MLB that he got a 96. He only missed 8 out of 200. Right. Thank you very much. The Whip, the King, the Peruker. Mike Murphy with you. We're 1/2 hour away from Tool of the Week, my friends at RentalMax, RentalMax.com. And in about 1 minute, Eldon Ham said he'd phone in on the celebrity line. Our sports legal good friend here at the Score. See his thoughts on Derrick Rose. But real quick out of Wrigley Field,
Attention.
Lineups are in.
Attention, please. Have your pencil and scorecards ready.
Correct lineup.
I'll give you
today's game.
the correct lineup
I know.
for today's ball game.
All right, now, Jay Zawoski, real quick. I have not seen this. I predict right-handed Billingsley. Terrio's had some rough games. Two double play balls last night, out of position on the slug bunt in the first inning by Fur Call that allowed the first run to score from second. In the play-by-play on the internet, it says Pierre scored from second on bunt single, which was true. The bunt rolled all the way out to left field. Jay Zawoski, I predict that for the first time this year, he has not missed a game against the tough righty Billingsley. Day game after night game, Ryan Terrio's got the day off.
He does have the day off.
Hey! Now, have I seen that?
No.
Right. So he put the slick shortstop, Blanco at short.
Right.
And that means he's got Scales at second. No, he's got Scales at third. And who's he got it?
Fontenot is at second.
Oh, yeah, of course, the left-handed bat. Right.
Now, I have to say, they're saying Terrio has flu-like symptoms, and that's why he's out. So, but you're right. You're still right.
Too much of a coincidence. I got flu-like symptoms every day of my life. Celebrity line ringing. Let's go to Eldon Ham, the Scores sports legal expert. Eldon Ham, how are you doing?
Doing real good, Murph. How are you?
I'm fine. Fans say hi to Eldon Ham. And Eldon's always great to visit with you. I know you have so much going on. But real quick, I always love to get your thoughts when something a little out of the ordinary occurs. I think most fans are up to speed. It's the cover story, not on the sports page, but the front page of all our papers. And it's the Derrick Rose grade scandal. The Sun-Times says Bulls Stars grade was changed while a student in Chicago at the high school Simeon. Also, it appears that someone might have taken some testing, etc. And a lot of fans called in this morning on the Score, Eldon, and said, yawn, ho-hum, who cares? But there was one caller that I thought was very interesting. I'm going to replay this and get your always interesting comments. This is caller Chuck that phoned in this morning around 7:30 on our Mully and Hanley morning show. Chuck's in Glenview. Hey, Chuck.
What I want to know is where the real culpability of the NBA and David Stern is in this. I mean, 3-4 years ago, I'm not a huge NBA guy. I don't know how long ago they implemented, though, you got to go to school for 1 year. But back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there would have been no need for this scandal at all because Derrick Rose would have gone straight to the NBA. What the NBA does in cahoots with the NCAA is probably a violation of antitrust laws, is an illegal restraint of trade. Once the kid's 18 years old, let him play.
A lot to digest there, but I got to tip my hat to caller Chuck. What do you think about his angles right there, Eldon Ham?
He's actually got a good angle. If the NBA and the NCAA colluded in any of this, in other words, if David Stern called up and said, hey, guys, we got to do something here because we're drafting too many young kids and they don't know what they're doing and we're paying them a fortune and they're dragging us down.
Right.
And they worked out a deal and said, all right, let's do a one-year rule. That would be collusion out and out, an antitrust violation. There have been similar cases brought without the collusion in that regard, where just a player sues the league and says, look, I have a right to work, you got to let me into the league. One of the problems with that is that the NBA can hide behind this thing called the rule of reason, which is a defense in antitrust cases. It means if there are other reasons that actually promote competition ultimately that they can use to justify this action that they've taken with the one-year rule, then it can survive the antitrust test. For example, everybody in the world knows the NFL draft and the NBA draft, absent other circumstances, are the absolute definition of antitrust.
Right.
They all get together and collude and decide who they're going to pick and when. But that one is saved by, among other things, the rule of reason. And that's what they try to promote here. They say this is for the safety and welfare and health of these young kids. They want them to get a little more maturity before they go into the league. Maybe not a bad argument in its own, but what it does is when they go to the NCAA, when they go to college, it really makes the whole system corrupt because they're all square pegs in a round hole. They don't want to be there, and they haven't devoted their whole life to be students. It's to be basketball players.
Well, and Eldon Ham with us, adjunct professor of sports law, Chicago Kent College of Law, good friend of the Score, our sports legal guy. And I know Eldon's on a short time leash right now. A couple things, though, that you bring up that I just love a minute with you on. Number one is the draft, NFL draft, NBA draft. Let's never forget the reason that the leagues desired a draft. It goes back to, I want to say, 1937 or 38. The NFL invented it, maybe 39. Jay Berwanger, the first pick, University of Chicago, when they had the great football teams back then. George Halas and the other owners, the original 8 or the original 12, whatever it was back then, Eldon, they said, we got to keep salaries down. We've got to find a way to keep salaries down because all 8 teams were going to bid on Jay Berwanger, or all 12 of the original NFL, whatever the number was then. They wanted to bid on him. And the other thing is that I don't know where the college players have any clout. You know, there's a collectively bargained, as you've told me over the years, the players union in the NBA or the NFL, they collectively bargain with the owners. No one ask the high school kids and the college kids, because they're not part of the union yet, how they feel about this. But let me use a phrase called the feeder system, not Bob Feeder. The feeder system, which without college basketball and college football, how much expense? And it's always about the money, Eldon Ham. Let's say the Bulls wanted to draft a high school kid, but he was not ready. But they would have to then have a place for him to play. Oh, they can send him to Europe or this and that. But they'd eventually have to have their own minor league system, maybe like baseball, which is and NFL also, which is very expensive.
Super expensive to do that, and really not as viable as it is in baseball. I think if you put the kids in as the NBA does, kind of a developmental league, they don't get the same kind of competition, the same kind of pressure, the same kind of real, genuine effort that goes into, say, an NCAA tournament and all of this high-profile stuff. You can simulate it somewhat in baseball because the pitcher's just throwing the ball and the batter's just hitting the ball. But when you put all these kids on a court and they all have to play together and learn something, that's not so easy to do it in a minor league way, and you already have the NCAA set up to do exactly that, which, by the way, they do pretty well.
Yeah. Eldon will, one more minute. This will be our Reader's Digest. Final question. You can always visit our friend Eldon Ham, just like it sounds, ELDON. Second to last name Ham, HAM. EldonHam.com. And you go visit Amazon.com. Your great book, Larceny and Old Leather. That's Eldon Ham at Amazon.com. Now, Eldon, as far as anything from the pages today reading about Derrick Rose, Memphis University, we've got him with the Bulls now. I'm looking for the illegalities here. Sure, a lot of this is not ethical. A lot of this is unsanctioned. The NCAA is going to come down on this university, and they're going to do that. But is anyone looking forward, not that we would look forward to, any real time or prosecution? Is there anything illegal that's been done other than someone unethically changing some, grades and stuff, which is terrible, don't get me wrong. But what's been done here that could be a real problem for anybody?
It could blow over, but if there is an aggressive prosecutor down in Memphis someplace, one thing they might say is that this was a conspiracy, a fraud upon the university, because the university, don't forget, coughed up a scholarship and paid for this education for a student. If that student would not be there except for the fraud, a prosecutor might decide to take this to another level. I happen to be, of course, being in Chicago, a Derrick Rose fan.
Sure.
And I do believe, being as objective as I can, that even if he's guilty of something, I don't think it's his fault.
No.
I think the whole system has set this up to fail, and if he failed and fell into the trap, he's just the last in a long line of victims.
Right. Eldon, always great. Last thing, I know you're not a tax man, but if someone received a scholarship that was then found to be illegally gained, would that be taxable income when you go to school for free?
If I were the IRS, I think I would make that argument. It sounds like a winner.
Maybe I'm going to be a tax man someday.
Yeah, maybe so.
Then we'll all be in trouble.
You better learn to duck.
You got that right. Then we'll all be in trouble. Eldon Ham at eldonham.com, ELDONHAM, Amazon.com, also for his book Larceny and Old Leather. Friend of the Score, adjunct professor of sports law, Kent College of Law here in Chicago. Thank you, Eldon. Get on to your busy day. We appreciate your quick time. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Eldon Ham, it's Murph. Let's catch up on a few things. We'll go out to Wrigley Field. Who's out there today? The Shoe? David Schuster. How about Elizabeth's Shoe? Now we'd have something. Covering the Cubs, Sports Radio 670, The Score. All live in Sam Zell's submarine. Sam Zell's submarine. Sam Zell's submarine. Every time they say yellow, think Sam Zell. Sam Zell submarine. All right, boys. Get those four knuckleheads with the long hair out of here. Here's the thing, and we're going to hear momentarily from David Schuster from Wrigley Field. All day long, all yesterday, here's the story I've been hearing. Oh, the Ricketts group is having trouble raising money. Now, here's the story. The Ricketts group is having trouble borrowing the money. See, everyone's got this story ass backwards. Is that what they used to say? Ricketts can write the check for $900 million today. Got it? But Sam Zell can't accept the check for the full price because then he has big capital gains taxes to pay. What Sam Zell needs legally to avoid big tax bill is to have 50% of the money coming in cash, and he's already got that check on his desk for $450 million from Mr. Ricketts, who, again, listen to this, could write the check for $900 million. But he's got to go borrow Mr. Ricketts the other $450 million for Sam Zell, so Zell in his submarine can avoid taxes. So it's not being reported correctly. Ricketts having trouble raising money. No. He's having trouble borrowing money because, quite frankly, no one's lending money right now, in case you've been watching the financial pages at all for the last year. And number two, there is no future appreciation of franchise value. The reason that you would buy a team was always simple. You would break even, like Jerry Reinsdorf, break even for 20, 30 years, and then the team you bought, and the Tribune, same deal. In 81, your team you bought for $20 million or whatever is now worth, $400, $500, $900 million. There will be no guaranteed appreciation of franchise values anymore, so the real do-re-mi is in controlling the TV rights for the Cubs, which are right now under a contract, half of them with good old Channel 9, and half of them with Comcast. So this guy Ricketts, he's no dummy. He says, all right, Mr. Zell, number one, I can't borrow the money, so lower your $900 million, and I want the rights to build my own TV network like the Yes Network or the Boston Red Sox. I don't want 1/4 or 20%. That's also been misreported. It's not 20% of the your Comcast. I want that blown out to I want TV rights. Score hot phone. Very few people have the inside number. He said he gave us a call from the press box at Wrigley Field. I bet that's David Schuster. David?
I'll bet you're right, Murph.
Hey.
Let me add one more point to what you were just talking about.
Please, yes.
Major League Baseball is not enthralled themselves with teams' ownership borrowing money. Take a look at the situation that happened out in Arizona with the Diamondbacks.
Bingo.
And Jerry Colangelo got in big trouble with Major League Baseball. So I'm telling you, even if this deal goes through, if he borrows the money, there's no guarantee that MLB will say okay with that because they don't like that kind of stuff.
Well, they don't want a submarine. You know, they already got a newspaper submarine. The MLB doesn't want a baseball team upside down either. And they are correct too. We want real money, not borrowed money. Because what if they don't pay the bill back? Then who gets stuck with the bill? I don't even know. That's like the Phoenix Coyotes in the NHL. That's a mess down there, right?
Isn't the old adage, Murph, cash is king?
I like that.
Heck, I'll come out to your house and give you this money.
Yeah, give us your address on the air. We'll all come out and give Dave. All right, David, live at Wrigley Field. The flag, what do we got? The sun is out downtown. Which way the wind be blowing?
It looks like it's blowing in a little bit from right field. Not too much, though.
All right. And the story lost in the shuffle with all the Zambrano and the Lily and the Gatorade. Randy Wells has been brought up from the minors, David, 4 starts, and he has been fantastic. His record's 0-2, but 5 innings, no earned runs his first outing. 6 innings, no earned runs his next outing. 7 innings, 3 earned runs his next outing. And last night, 7 innings, he gets the loss, 2 earned runs, 25 innings, 5 earned runs, his ERA 1.80. This kid's under the radar. He's been nothing short of terrific.
He's been fantastic. He was fantastic yesterday. But, you know, when you play the Dodgers, take a look at the playoffs from last year, you better get some offense against them because they're not going to score many runs themselves. And last night's game to me, Murph, was so eerily similar to the playoffs of last year. In fact, the last 2 years, you know, and you constantly talk about power in baseball. I love the Dodgers. I wish my team would play this way. Speed at the top of the lineup, and Pierre and Furcal, either one of those guys or both of them get on base.
Hudson.
They set the table.
And even Hudson in a 3-hole. He could be a leadoff or a 2 for anybody.
And today they got their catcher Martin, who's got some speed himself. He's hitting second. So the Dodgers play, unlike many teams in baseball, speed at the top of the lineup. That's the way to go.
David, we're up against the clock. Tool of the week in about 2-3 minutes and an update. So I'm going to give you this last quickie. One of these inside baseball. You were there last night. I heard your reports. Do you remember the Pierre? Someone hit a ground ball, and the second baseman Andres Blanco went way to his left, spun around, bang bang, almost got him at first base. Remember that play? I think it was late in the game.
Yep.
The second baseman is this kid Blanco. I know he can't hit. He's probably just a good field no-hit AAA guy. We had the scouting report from the AAA Dean Ellis down at the Cubs, Iowa Cubs, and he said this could be the flashiest fielder I've ever seen. On that play last night, you know what was interesting, David? You've watched the game a long time. This is not a knock on Derek Lee at all, because everybody at first, when that ball went to the right of Derek Lee, he didn't even think that he was going to have to run to first for a throw.
He thought it was a base hit.
He did, because since he was playing a Little League, he was 10 years old as a first baseman. For like 20 years, he's been a first baseman. He's never seen that ball grabbed in the hole. And he went, whoa, and he ran back. So it was an amazing play. It was safe. But here's the kid. Now, he's at short today.
He is at short.
And I don't believe that Terrio's got the flu. He has not had a day off all year. He hit 2 double play ground balls. He was out of position. Replays will show on the slug bunt by Furcal. Last night, first inning run. He needed a rest. So, you know, I think it was a good move by Lou to give Terrio, whether I hope he gets better from the flu, okay?
Well, we got the backups in today real quickly, Murph. And once again, I don't get it, Murph. I just don't get it. Bradley getting a day off. I know it's the day game following the night game, but how many days off are you going to give this guy who's supposed to be helping your ball club?
Well, you know, I think I saw he might have had a little tweak when he ran something out the other day. You got to be careful with him. I'm with you 100%. But we don't know in the back room what the thinking was, but you do need to get him out there. Milton Bradley, you're exactly right. David, great job. We'll hear your reports throughout the day, and later tonight, your wrap-ups, okay?
Thanks a lot, Murph.
Thank you, buddy. David Schuster, Murph-a-Palooza, back in a flash. Fired up now, Tool of the Week. I know I'm running late. I was talking to Shoe. Murph, driven to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Dadgummit.
What was that, Hawk?
Dadgummit.
This hour of the score brought to you by Menards.
Nice tools. Can you hand me that impact wrench?
Did you use the word tool?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's time for the Tool of the Week Award with Mike Murphy here on The Score. Sports Radio 670.
I think he's a tool. T-O-O-L? He's a tool. He's a tool. He's a knob, and I don't want him.
Who's been a tool in the sports world this week? Dial it up at 312-644-6767. That's 312-644-6767. And hammer whoever you like on The Score. Sports Radio 670.
My point is that I am a tool, and I brought additional tools to this team.
I think he's going to get a lot of tools before this year is over.
Tool of the Week is brought to you by RentalMax and RentalMax.com.
Hey, my friends at RentalMax want to hear from you. 644-6767. Tool of the Week. 312 remains our area code. 644-6767. What is Tool of the Week? Very simple. Your opportunity to help us award the biggest sports tool of the last week. We hate rules. You hate rules. Everybody hates rules. The only rules we have for Tool of the Week, whoever you nominate must be involved in the world of sports. And whatever they did had to occur over the last 7 days. Think about that. 7 days, last Friday. What's going on since then? Just about everything. Some of the nominations that I expect we're going to hear from. Well, let's get to the phones first and let you direct the beginning of Tool of the Week. And I'd like to direct you to RentalMax.com right now. Punch it up. I don't care if you're a plant operations manager, facility operations vice president, or a weekend warrior working on your lawn, working on the deck, working on the patio in the backyard. RentalMax.com. When times are tough, when money's tight, renting equipment has never been more important than right now. RentalMax.com. Over 1,000 different pieces of equipment. Check it out. You'll be amazed. Let's go to Streeter, Illinois. Aston is first in line. Hello, Aston.
Hey, it's Carlos Zambrano, definitely. The 2-year-old tantrum was just kind of pathetic.
He's the 2-year-old. Hey, Aston, it's great to... How old are you, young man?
I'm actually a woman, and I'm 22 at Aston.
I'm sorry, Aston. But,
that's all right.
But the point is, you're, and he's a 2-year-old to you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
None of my tools are especially special.
Right. 644-6767. Oh, did I mention piling on is not only welcomed but encouraged. So if you were going to dial in with Carlos Zambrano, I need you to double up, triple up, because I want a clear-cut winner for my friends at RentalMax, RentalMax.com. 644-6767 remains our phone number. Let's go next to car phone Jim on the score. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Murph. I love your show.
Oh, I love you for saying that. Jim, are you going to double up on that 2-year-old Carlos Zambrano?
No, I'm not. I'm going to take the sports media in general.
Okay.
They always want somebody fiery on the field. They want somebody to play with passion. They were happy to get Milton Bradley. And when they got a player like Zambrano who just goes out there and puts everything out and yells and screams and is really passionate about the game, they call him a baby. So to the sports media, they're all tools as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you know what? You raise a great point, and I will leave you with this, Jim, because it's well spoken. Milton Bradley had this statement yesterday, and he says, you know, he's got the emotion, and he says, having the emotion like I do, he says, like Carlos Zambrano, he says it's the curse, but it's also the gift. You know what I mean? It's the gift, but it's the curse for these guys, some of them. And you're never going to, if you ask him to tone it down, he's not going to be any of these guys. I don't just mean Carlos. If you ask a guy to tone it down, is he going to be the same player? That's what I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think they would be the same player. No. Let him play with his passion.
Yeah, well, you know what? You can't have it both ways. It's the curse and it's the blessing for these guys because they would, most of them would not be the same player if you tried to take away the maybe misguided passion, but they wouldn't be the same guy.
I agree. Hey, one more thing, Murph.
Yes, sir, Jim.
I wish you had a longer show.
Oh, Jim, I could barely get the 2 hours in and out without getting the blood pressure up. Thank you, my friend.
Okay, bye, Murph.
Appreciate it very much. Good night. Why am I still doing the 6 to 11 Gab Fest? I think he said, good night, Murph.
Here's a tool.
Yeah. Let's go next to, so who do we have so far? I got to write this down. I always forget to write this down. We got Carlos Zambrano and the media. Boy, that's all-encompassing. Let's go next to, hey, here's a good one I hear. Go to Ken in Palatine, I'm told. Hello, Ken.
How you doing, Murph?
Good. Thank you for calling. Tool of the Week. Who do you have for me?
Brian Campbell of the Blackhawks.
Good old number 51 with the big contract, right?
Yeah, he earned every bit of that money.
Give me something specific if you wish.
Well, in Sunday's game, he was probably a -4, if not a -5.
Right.
Letting the players go right by him and just standing there. And that little commercial he has of the fastest skater on earth.
Oh, yeah. Those commercials don't look so good. It was like the Nick Swisher last year. It looks good when things are going well. It doesn't look so good when things are going poorly, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, Ken, I'll put down good old number 51 for you, all right?
Thanks so much, Murph.
Thank you, Ken, for the kind words.
That's your toolbox with you?
Jay Zawoski, my hockey guy. Now, all the Hawks games have merged together. Was it game 2 where Campbell lost the puck at the blue line and that was about the end of the game? Or
yeah, the overtime loser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that
2?
2?
2. Yep, that was brutal.
They lost 2 in overtime.
He fell down and...
They lost 2 in overtime to the Red Wings.
Yeah.
God.
Closer than it looked.
Yes! It's like that mirror on the right side of your car. Objects approaching are closer than they appear. Let's bring in, hey, I want to hear from Iowa. Is that Ben? Hello, Ben.
Hey, how you doing, Murph?
Good, Ben. I'm cheating. I'm looking ahead on the screen here. I think I love your Tool of the Week nomination. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sam Zell, because why did you, number one, pick the Ricketts family to own the Cubs if they can't afford the Cubs? Number two, everything that he's done since he's come on board to the Tribune, and now it looks like this season as far as trades and picking up anybody else that's left on free agency is done. It almost looks like the Cubs are done because there's just no ownership. There's no way for this team to go anymore.
Hey, Ben, you're a pretty sharp guy. I'll tell you something. You could not be more correct on the fact that now Jim Hendry's hands are tied. I will say this. The real truth is that Ricketts, yes, he can indeed afford the Cubs. The story has been sort of misreported that he's looking for funding. He's looking to borrow money for a tax-structured baloney BS circular thing that is beyond me to figure out. But he's got he has $900 million. He just has to borrow money to pay for it, if that makes any sense. But you are exactly right. Let's say Mr. Hendry wanted to rekindle the Jake Peavy talk. He's got no one now to go to authorize the expenditure. Good job, Ben. Thank you, buddy.
All right, Murph. Thank you.
Put down Sam Zell. Sam Zell's submarine. Sam Zell's submarine. Sam Zell's submarine. Let's go to the mop tops there. Frank from Bolingbrook. Hi, Frank.
Hey, Murph, how's it going?
Fine, Frank. Now, are you going to dump? I got Zambrano, I got the media, I got Brian Campbell, Sam Zell. Who's your tool?
It's got to be Pinella.
Lou!
Oh, yeah, the Italian stallion or Hispanic. I don't know what he is.
He's from Tampa. You know what? He grew up with Tony La Russa, and both of them are proud Hispanic heritage fellas. But Tony La Russa wants people to think he's Italian, which is fine. You can let people think whatever you want to think.
Yeah, well, Murph, Lou is my tool of the week because he's giving everybody the flu, quote-unquote, bug to rest him for a few days. But I think that the person that needs to be catching that bug is Soriano. That slider slowing away, slider lowering away.
He fell for it 3 times in a same at bat last night. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. Even you would have known to lay off at the 3rd time, right, Frank?
Oh, absolutely. I would have stepped into the left-hand batter's box and maybe try to get hit by that.
Yeah, I love it. Let it hit you in the foot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're the best.
Definitely. He needs a bug.
You're the best. Thank you, Frankie. I appreciate it.
That's just a tool Jim Hendry has in his bag.
Hey, I want to also, I was just visiting with the plant and facility vice presidents. Don't forget the Town Group. TownGroup.com. These are the guys that do it right, the pros, the big jobs, major rehab, replace HVAC, piping, chillers, mechanical big jobs. TheTownGroup.com. West Town, North Town, Southwest Town, and Northwest Town. All right, let's catch up on a few things. Hey, here's last week's Tool of the Week winner.
I had a hammer.
Jermaine Dye.
I'd hammer in the morning.
Nice voice.
I'd hammer in the evening.
Last night at the Kansas City Holiday Inn
I'd hammer out
karaoke bar.
I'd hammer out a warning. I'd hammer out
Back in a flash, it's Murphapalooza. Second round of phone calls, Tool of the Week. Then Bob Verdi's going to join us. It's Murph on the Score, driven to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com. Nominated so far from RentalMax and RentalMax.com. Carlos Zambrano, the media. Brian Campbell, good number 51. Sam Zell and his submarine. Lou Piniella. Still, I'm waiting to be nominated, perhaps. Ted Lilly, Derek Rose. The umpires involved, the Ted Lilly umpire, Bob Davidson, the Zambrano umpire, Mark Carlson. Everybody's eligible. That includes little old me. That's where they're saying, Murph, you better get to Pat on a car phone before he gets out of range here. Hello, Pat.
How are you, Murph?
Pat, tool of the week. Everybody's eligible.
Yeah, well, I'm nominating you, Murph.
Well, I wasn't even on Monday, and I thought I did a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What did I do?
I'm nominating you for calling out Matt Donwald on his sports break yesterday when he was explaining about the Zambrano situation, and you didn't let him finish what he was trying to say because you were trying to make your point that Zambrano, the umpire bumped Zambrano, but you didn't give him a chance to say that, and you were like pretty much tearing him apart.
Well, so I get my tool nomination for giving a rough ride to Matt Rodenwald, right?
Yeah, but you got to say my name.
I happen to have Matt right here.
You got to say my freaking name right. It's Rodewald.
Yeah.
Let's go. While we're young.
I got an idea. Well, someday we're going to nominate you, Matt, for Tool of the Week.
I know. It's coming.
Then you're part of the club.
I'm due.
Until you're part of the nominated, not part of the club.
I'm not perfect.
I will give him less of a rough ride next time, Pat, and I'll put myself down, okay, buddy?
You got it.
Thank you very much. Hey, all your friends were calling you.
It's Rodewald. It's Matt Rodewald.
All your friends were calling you? You heard from all kind of people yesterday?
I heard all sorts of people yesterday. Hey, what's going on there? I'm like, hey, this is, hey, what are you doing? That's okay.
It was great.
You know what? It's a weird story, to get, not to harp on too much, but
sure.
It's a weird line, and somehow Major League Baseball does have to figure out the clear side of what the umpire can do. They've already made a sense of what the player can and can't do.
For those
that have not said what's going to happen. Because we've seen umpires over the last couple of years, they're way more They love to instigate a lot more.
They're on the muscle again.
Absolutely.
After they all lost their jobs about 10 years ago, they can we have our job back? Please, we'll be. Yeah, now they're on the muscle again.
Want to keep them.
Thank you, man. Let's get back to final couple, and let's see. We got about a 7-way tie here. I may need Jay Zawoski to break this tie. Let's go to Willie from Champaign. Willie.
Hey, Murph, how you doing?
Fine, Willie. Who's your nomination?
Hey, Murph, my nomination is that astronaut, Don Cooper.
I hear you. Go ahead in case anybody wasn't listening. What happened?
Well, Coop decided to spout off a little bit about Zambrano, about how he shouldn't know he couldn't play on the Sox. He was too hot-headed. And luckily you, not being a tool, pointed out several times last year that the Sox had plenty of guys that did things just as bad as Zambrano.
Well, the bigger picture is, worry about your own team. Cubs management, worry about Cubs business. Sox management and personnel, worry about Sox business. And it's very rare for a team, a person in that position, uniformed staff, to call out a player on another team by name.
Exactly.
Hey, so when you said I'm not a tool, does that offset my last vote, or do I still have the last vote?
Absolutely, Mark. You have no votes this week.
I'll take it. Thank you, Willie.
Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate it.
Toolbox.
Jay, remember, I don't know, about 3-4 years ago, I tried to initiate a thing in Tool of the Week where you had the option, the callers, nominate someone, or if you wish to use your call on the air, you could use it instead to offset, negate, cancel out an earlier nomination, which I thought was, one of the few things the only brilliant thing I've ever done on the radio. But I was swamped with emails that go, no, that sucks. We want to pound on guys. We don't want to be able to have someone call in and cancel the vote. So even though Willie said so just now, you cannot cancel any vote that's already on the scoreboard. Hey, you have any tools of the week or a nomination to double up
I
on?
have a vote for, since it's Hawks are done, I got to get my last hockey tool.
Go ahead, Jay. Give it to me.
Red Wings forward Johan Franzen on the Canadian broadcast in the 6-1 Red Wings win, which we'd like to forget. He skates up to Patrick Kane, takes the mouthpiece out of his mouth,
I heard about
throws
this.
it on the ice, and spits on it.
Now, was that on the TV?
It was on the Canadian
See,
team.
I never saw that. I only heard about it. So you saw that, huh?
Yes, it was blatant.
He came up to him. That was during a stoppage in play.
Right.
And Kaner,
he's always chewing on the mouthpiece.
It's sort of his thing that the mouthpiece hangs out.
Right.
So he came up and grabbed it, which is obviously bad enough. Then he threw it on the ice.
Right.
And now he spit on it.
Spit on it or towards it.
At least
so he's my tool of the week.
At least
Go
they
Penguins.
didn't throw an octopus on it.
I hope not.
Let's go. I may need you for tiebreak because what you've done now is created a 9-way tie.
All right, sorry.
That's okay. Ed from Libertyville, for my friends at RentalMax, RentalMax.com. Weekend Warriors, going to work on your yard. RentalMax, hey, you got to aerate the yard, right? You got to get the spreader. You want to work on your yard, all that. RentalMax.com for the backyard Weekend Warriors. Going to be a beautiful weekend. RentalMax.com, 10 locations. Ed from Libertyville. Hello, Ed.
Hey, what's going on, Murph?
Fine. Ed, how's the backyard to front yard? You all set?
Yep. I have, this guy might be an early Tool of the Year nominee.
Okay.
James Harrison of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, first he went to the defense for the White House.
Right.
And he gets his pit bull to
okay. So, you know what? We're up against the clock. Well, but I appreciate it, Ed. Great job there. James Harrison gets a vote. Have we recycled up, Jay? Are we back yet? Otherwise, what I would just suggest is this. Make a visit to RentalMax.com to find the location nearest you. There are 10 Chicagoland locations. They're local guys like yourself. Aurora, Chicago, Crest Hill, Downers Grove, Joliet, Lake Zurich, Orland Park, Roselle, St. Charles, Wheaton, Illinois, 1,000 different tools, pieces of equipment. RentalMax.com. You know, you can rent it by the day, by the week, by the month. They'll bring it over. You can make arrangements, anything you need. And our final tooler is Northside Mike. Hello, Michael.
Hey, what's up, Murph?
Mike, everything's great. I'm going to put some pressure on you. I got about 9-10 tool nominations, and if you give me a new one, I'm going to have an 11-way tie. So I'm hoping you go for either a Sam Zell, a Lou Piniella, a Carlo Zambrano, Don Cooper, Jerry Hairston, Brian Campbell, the media, Mike Murphy. Are you going to give me a winner, please?
Carlo Zambrano.
Okay, tell us why. We know.
Because his act is it's too much. It's so tired. It's so old. Like, beat up the Gatorade machine.
His act is old. It's an old, tired act. Thank you for participating, Mike. And in very, very spirited raucous voting, the winner of this week's RentalMax, RentalMax.com Tool of the Week is Carlo Zambrano. There's a surprise.
Well, Murph, that wonderful relief that comes when they just stop hitting you in the head with a hammer. It feels so good when they stop.
That's it. We're all out of tools. Thanks for listening and thanks for participating in Murph's Tool of the Week Award. Be sure to join us next Friday because there's always a tool. There's always someone who
has a hammer for a head.
That's right. You'll hear about him next Friday on The Score, Sports Radio 670. Tool of the Week is brought to you by RentalMax and RentalMax.com.
Bob Verdi next. Thank you very much, man.
Hey, you're Joe Reynolds.
Yes, I am. Would you like to have a seat, sir?
Yeah, in a minute. What's this outfit? Is it a Halloween party or what is it?
Oh, no, it's Casual Friday.
Casual Friday, what does that mean?
That means we just dress like we would at home.
But you're not at home.
No, but it's just Casual Friday. So.
Yeah, I know. You told me that already. What do you do on Casual Friday?
Well, we just come in and do our work, but we dress casually.
I don't like it.
Well, it's just one day of the week.
I don't give a damn if it's half a day a week. I don't like it. I'm here to change my will. A lot of money is involved. It's very important to me.
Oh, we wouldn't treat you casually.
Then why the hell you dress that way? I want you to be on cutting edge, man, whenever you're handling my business.
This is cutting edge.
I don't need this crap. You look like a fucking cowboy. You're JR, huh? Joel Reynolds, right?
Look, you
belong in Dallas, not L.A.
I'm sorry, please.
Yeah, you should.
Just understand that
You should be sorry because you just lost my account. You go wrangle somebody else's. Thank you very much.
If you come back on a Monday or a Tuesday.
It's a beautiful Casual Friday in Chicago. Celebrity lines ringing. We asked if you could give us a quick call. Let's punch it up. Let's go to Celebrity Line. Chicago Tribune Sunday featured columnist Bob Verdi. Hello, Verds.
Is the Tool of the Week over?
I hope so, because I only got one vote and you didn't get any yet. How are you, Bob?
All righty.
Fancy out of Bob Verdi. Chicago sports guy, Sundays in the Tribune. He's covered all the different beats, athletes' feats over the years, one of my favorite radio segments. And Bob, every few months you find a few minutes to pick up the celebrity line, and we gave you a little heads up. We said we'd love to hear from you after the Hawks season is over. You've been such a great Blackhawk hockey fan. What a year it was, Bob. I just want to get your thoughts a little bit on the season, which went so long that we never thought it would end, and then it ended just so quick, didn't it?
It did, but the Blackhawks, I think, played the best team in the world, Murph.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a learning experience if and only if they learn from it, you know. I don't think there's Bobby Hull and Stan Mikita were like Kane and Taves in '61 when they won the Cup.
Right.
And in talking to Stan a week or so ago, he said, I was 20. I thought this would happen every year. I'd win the Cup every year. Said I never won another one. So, nothing is guaranteed. We know that. We're all day to day.
Well, exactly right. Day to day I am, day to day Bob is, and year to year with the Hawks. Now, the next progression has to be to be in the Western Conference Finals again next year. Let's just say, Bob, and I got my old what-if bell with me here because that's what sports talk is. What if the Hawks and the Red Wings end up again in the Western Conference Finals? Is it going to be a de facto same, 5 games in and out? Or what would happen in the course of a year? One team gets a little older. They're already the older team, the Red Wings, and the young Blackhawks would be a year of more of experience. What would happen over the next year, do you think?
Well, a lot depends, obviously, on who comes and who goes from both rosters. I think there are a couple myths about the Red Wings, and that is one that their goalie is a bad goalie. I'm not real sure about that. I think Osgood is just fine. And the other thing is that they are all 40 years old. They have a lot of great kids, well-schooled kids, a tremendous farm system. I think it's the best organization in the NHL, and to dismiss them on the grounds that they obviously the window is closing on a lot of their players because a lot of them are up in age, but the Blackhawks, on the other hand, are the youngest team in the league. The strides they made were outstanding, and now you got to play with numbers. And I know the Blackhawks are facing salary cap issues, not so much this year maybe, but the next year. But the Red Wings did it. The Red Wings do it every year.
See, I never worry about, as a fan, and it's easy for me to say because I'm not juggling the checkbooks, but I never worry about the money or the cap. I figure that they can always circumvent it because that's the spirit of the owners wanting a salary cap, as long as, it keeps them down when I want them down. But like the NFL, I want to front load or do this and all that. They'll figure out a way, I believe, to get the right guys out there, cap or no cap.
I think your hockey expert, Jay Zawatsky, did a great job, by the way.
Jay was terrific. Jay, say hi to my guy, Bob Verdi.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate the kind words.
Well, I think you mentioned the other day that when you become a destination point, which the Hawks haven't been for many years, but the Wings are, you get a player like Hossa who will leave $40 million on the table.
Pittsburgh to Detroit, yeah.
Just to play with the Wings. And, of course, now he's going. It's not like he left, a bad team.
What was the deal here? Now, Jay Zawatsky, Bob Verdi with Murph on the score. Hossa declined about, $49-50 million from the Pens. He wanted to go to be in the Stanley Cup. He's with the Red Wings, and he's going to be playing the team that he turned down, right?
And the team that he played against. Last year. So, that's a pretty gutsy maneuver by him. But it says something about the Red Wings. Yeah. And I think that now, with the city alive about hockey, that Chicago is no longer a place that you want to avoid if you're a hockey player. Obviously, the whole situation has been resurrected in record time here.
Yeah, Bob Verdi with Murph, always a great fan of the Score. Always nice to hear from Bob. See him every Sunday in the Tribune, sometimes near the tire ads to steal your own line, the old line, but sometimes right there on page 2, page 3. How about a little change of pace here, Bob Verdi? The umpires in baseball. Now, no one likes the umpires. Jack Brickhouse 50 years ago, come out and boo the umpires. Have a good time at beautiful Wrigley Field. That's part of the game. The umpires, I want to ask you this, Bob. Do you see over the years ebbs and flows? They had the muscle about 15 years ago, 10 years ago, where they were in charge. The game revolved around them. Then they had the union breakup. A lot of them lost their jobs. They came back very meek and mild, and I really enjoyed that for about the next 3, 4, 5 years. Has the pendulum gone all the way back, or are the players now causing the umpires to look like the bad guys?
Well, I thought of you this morning, Murph, when I read about this guy in Minnesota.
Oh, yes.
Tim Tishner?
Yes, rookie umpire.
There were 30,000 there yesterday to watch the Twins and the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. And evidently this guy thought that the people bought tickets to watch him.
He's the youngest umpire out there, recently up from AAA, and I don't know the details. Maybe it was warranted, but he gave the heave-ho in the 7th inning of the Red Sox-Twins game. He threw out 4 uniformed people. I don't know if they were players, coaches, or what. I'm trying to get more details, but he must have felt pretty good about himself.
He threw out both managers and both catchers and did it very theatrically. And, I thought, too, when Bud Selig... By the way, did Bud Selig talk to you about this?
Bud Selig declined to talk to us.
Thank you, Bob.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for the straight line there.
I thought when, all the umpires went under the umbrella of the MLB...
Yes.
That it would be a little different, but it does seem to be, you're right, it does seem they're entirely too confrontational. Mm-hmm. I think Zambrano was out of order the other day, but I don't think he was alone.
Would it not be fair, not that there's fairness, for the umpire who touched Zambrano first, would it not be right for Mark Carlson, the umpire, to be suspended also?
Well, when was the last time? I'm trying to think. Didn't the guy who got Bradley when Bradley got hurt?
Right, when his own manager.
Didn't they do something with him? Didn't they knock him out for a few games? But it does seem like the umpires are hermetically sealed from any disciplinary action.
I like that. Hey, Bob, one last thing will spring you on your day. I know you're also covering the world of golf for your different venues, and you do a terrific job there. The Chicago Bears, Jay Cutler, I haven't had a chance to get your thoughts on that. As a Bears fan all my life, how much stock do I put into this? Do I say this is it? This is the savior? I mean, no one guy is the savior for anybody, or is this something special?
What you hear around the league is that obviously he is a special talent. Mm-hmm. Who's he going to throw to is the next question.
See, you always have to throw the water. You always have to be the damper writer because you are the voice of reason.
Well, that's why I came on after Tool of the Week.
2 for 2 you are today, yes.
No, but I think that obviously Cutler's reputation around the league is pretty good, and if I'm in Denver now, I'm scratching my head thinking, how did we let this guy go?
So as a Bears fan, we Bears fans can get a little excited, and they're not going to pull that. He's not going to pull that rug out from under us. But Jerry Angelo should be looking, and I bet you he does find a veteran wide receiver, be it released or a money crunch or something later during camp or whenever. He's got to get one more. I don't say big name guy, but a guy that knows what he's doing out there, a veteran guy.
Well, he knows what he's doing, I think, Angelo, and almost as dramatic as the acquisition of Cutler is what it represents for the Bears.
Yeah.
This almost out of body, out of character experience that they surprised everybody with by doing this. This was not a typical Bears maneuver, was it?
I couldn't believe it.
Well,
when the rumblings were out there, I mean, let's be honest, everybody from Bears fans to media to NFL insiders, everyone laughed. Oh, yeah, right, fat chance the Bears are going to be involved in this. No one could believe it.
That's right.
Well, you know what? Maybe the White Sox will deliver Jake Peavy in a trade. If we laughed at the Bears, hey, we shouldn't be laughing at Kenny Williams. Maybe he will be delivering a Jake Peavy type guy.
Well, I don't think he's going to sit still either.
No, I just want to see the chairman get the checkbook out for $60 million for a pitcher. That's what I want to see.
It's not, again, that would be out of character, but
we saw that
we didn't think he'd sign Albert Bell, did we?
No, we didn't. We have to get your old horse race forms out and make a line on that one. Hey, Bob, always look forward to our every 2-3 month visit. Enjoy your summer. We enjoy you in the Sun Times every Sunday and your other golf endeavors. Have a good summer. Catch up with you later, Roberto.
Take care.
Thank you, Bob. Bye-bye. Athlete's Feats with Murph and Bob Verdi. Do they have a trademark on that? That's 10 years. Norm, oh, here comes Norm Water. Murph, I got a trademark. No, Bob's the best. Bob Verdi is the best. Murph back in a flash. Hey, congratulations. About a half hour ago, Jerry from Highland Park won our White Sox tickets. He was the first caller when he heard Hawkaroo. Dadgummit is Hour of the Score, brought to you by Menards.